The leaders of Europe have refused Ukraine's hopes of a rapid accession to the bloc, making the war-torn country a second-time loser after facing rejection from the NATO alliance just last week. Leaders of the European bloc members held a meeting for a second day in the city of Versailles, hoping to project an image of unity in the face of Russian aggression in Ukraine. The bloc was swift in imposing sanctions and offering political and humanitarian support to Ukraine, as well as some arms supplies. But cracks seem to be appearing in the bloc's united front, especially on Kiev's demands for an accelerated membership to the club. The bloc's foreign policy chief, Josep Borrell, has bashed the West for the mistakes with Russia and promises that were made to Ukraine. Borrell made the comments while speaking to a private broadcaster, saying, and I quote, "There are moments that we could have done better. There are things that we proposed and could not implement, such as the promise that Ukraine and Georgia would become part of NATO. I think it's a mistake to make promises you can't deliver." A key opponent to the bloc's enlargement is the Netherlands. The Dutch Prime Minister, Mark Rutte, said that there is no fast-track procedure to join the bloc, and Ukraine's request could take weeks, months, or even years to fulfil.
There is a request for candidate membership from Ukraine, and that is now in process, and we have fast-tracked the sending it on to the Commission earlier this week by the Council. There's one, but that will take time, months, maybe years before you get to anything.
The NATO chief, Jens Stoltenberg, has said that the Western alliance must not allow Russia's invasion of Ukraine to spill over into war between NATO and Moscow. He made the comments while responding to a question on whether there will be a no-fly zone over Ukraine. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz said that the EU would deepen its partnership with Ukraine rather than speak of membership, which he said would require the unanimity of all 27 member countries. Europe fears that their standoff with Russia will only worsen in the coming years, and leaders sought to agree on how quickly they could reduce imports of Russian energy, on which the bloc is heavily dependent, as well as shore up their defence capabilities and stem the inflation of food prices. Well, our correspondent Ross Cullen has sent us this report from Paris.
There's no fast-track membership for now, but what has been approved by the European Union, they have agreed to fast-track Ukraine's membership request. So they will be working on that request from Kiev to try to join the European Union, but there will be no sudden immediate entry into the European Union for Ukraine. European Union membership is a complicated process. It's a long process. The Dutch Prime Minister, who we heard in the introduction, did make a reference during this summit to the Western Balkans, countries like North Macedonia and Albania, which at times have been spending years just putting together their approval and their agreement internally within those countries, within Albania and North Macedonia, just to show that they could potentially reach candidate status to try to, at some point in the future, submit a membership request to the European Union. And then we have these fast-track requests from Georgia, from Moldova and from Ukraine as well. So it does seem to be there is agreement that there can be a fast-track membership request that will be worked on by Brussels, but there will be no fast-track membership, this immediate entry into the bloc.